So I want to imagine for you. Let's say your disabled kid is off at college and he's getting taken advantage of because he's disabled. What are you going to do when he's getting taken advantage of? Well, you got to do the same thing when he's homeless. Or he's going to get taken advantage of when he go to the police. When you tell your kid to go to the police, that doesn't mean that the police are going to listen to him. Let's talk about Monica Bernal before I run out of battery here. So she works at Tides of Change. I went there to try to turn in James Murphy and a lot of other stalkers. I mean, it's been nonstop. Since October of 2016, when I left Virginia, I've had to deal with that. People threatening me, people harassing me. You get to see how I went to these different services, and they wanted to, of course, they asked me if I have a friend or family member to help me with it. No, I don't. I've had to rely on strangers on the internet and poor people everywhere I go. Primarily drug addicts, actually. They seem to come through more often than almost anybody else. When I tried to turn in James Murphy last year, I had to go to like 3 or 4 appointments with her before I finally, had to put my foot down and say, hey, I can't take care of myself. Are you not hearing me? I need a police officer here to do their job. And finally, Officer Martinez was there, and I thought to myself, all right. Maybe now we'll get something started. He even wrote down a case number for me. He even said, you know what? This guy meets a description of somebody we're looking for. And yes, I have that all recorded. And there's the stuff with Logan and Shayna. And I tried to explain over and over again, hey, this guy stalked me here from Hood River. At that point, I was also dealing with Molly. Because they didn't do anything about Molly. Molly kept it up for 6 weeks. She made my life hell, and she made Tom's life hell. And Tom's a pretty old feller. It wasn't actually all that stressful hanging out with him. It was stressful that he had so many anxieties. But I already knew about those. So it was no problem. Because I have communication difficulties. You guys just write me off as crazy. I'm overwhelmed. I gather more information than you guys do at one period of time. But there's no autism services here in Tillamookkk. You have no idea how many people have looked on the internet and tried to send me to other resources. I need somebody to act as family. I don't mean as in pretend to be family. I mean somebody who can try to fill the role of family by making sure my rights aren't denied and I'm not talked over again. I'm stressed. Every night I have nightmares about being assaulted by the guards and by officers. I have nightmares about being incarcerated as a kid and as an adult. Anyway, Monica Bernal and Officer Martinez, I did my best to explain to them what was going on. I kept getting interrupted, but I made sure that I got the information I had to them. But I'm barely able to speak now most days. That prevents me from thinking. All those sounds that just went by. It stopped me from being able to focus. No amount of medications is gonna fix that. So out here I'm always overwhelmed. My ability to actually gather my thoughts is non-existent. I do my best. I try to piece together bits and pieces that I remember. But I'm stressed out. I can't take care of myself. Alright, so I have a stuttering problem, and that makes it difficult to speak, and it also makes it easy for somebody to talk over me because I have to breathe sometimes, but I don't need people to remind me to do that. I'm going to do that automatically. If you start telling me to breathe, that's not going to improve the problem. Oh my God. So, I did talk to them, and there was a little case number up in the corner of the piece of paper that I got, and it's buried somewhere in this pile. In order to get that court stuff going, because he stalked me here from another county, I had to jump through a bunch of hoops, and they're wanting me to move here to Tillamookkk. But no, I don't need to move to Tillamookkk. I'm a Nebraskan, and I'm eventually going to go back to Nebraska. It's too expensive to live here. Then they wanted to send me to, what was it? Tides of Change, and I went there. Who else was I sent to at the very beginning? CARE, I was sent there, and TFCC right at the beginning. Much better. Anyway, before I can do anything today, I am dependent on someone else's help just to get my vehicle started. I have to wait until 11 to do that, and I'm thankful for the people at O'Reilly's who have helped me with that, especially Tanner. I'm not some horrible monster. I'm overwhelmed. Sorry, I'm trying to calm myself down. I was able to yawn. That was probably a good thing. It made it a little easier to speak. A lot of pressure built up in the chest. By trying to compartmentalize it in all my court dates in Colorado and try to pretend that I couldn't talk about the Bollingers or the police or the abuse. Imagine how that court went. They eventually had to drop the charges in Boulder. They had to drop the charges at Clearview and Johnstown. The officer that assaulted me in Boulder was Officer Waylon Lolatai. He assaulted 6 more people and ended up on the news. Clearview, they'd killed a man before I got there. And then they tried doing the same shit to me. They also told me that the drugs that were injected into me over at the hospital that was in Boulder County included ketamine. One of the tricks they like to play is, in order for the county to not have to pay for it, and they'll bill your insurance or destroy your credit if you're a poor person. They don't give a shit. They say that you're there of your own volition or something like that. I can't remember the exact terminology they use, but basically what they're saying is that you came in on your own and you're responsible for the payment. And when you try to leave, they tell you, oh yeah, you're free to go at any time. You're not being held. And then you go for the door, and of course, they tell you can't leave then, don't they? Smack you with them pads and tackle you to the floor and inject you with the whatever concoction they want to put in you at that point, actually. I mean, they put fucking ketamine in me in Colorado. I was sent to Clearview and had to deal with Waylon Lolatai both before they found Natalie's actual killer, Joseph Michael Lopez. Now, I'd been reporting on Boulder harming people for years, but I didn't have a set of electronic equipment to record it. How easy it is to commit a crime against a homeless person and get away with it. The situation with the abuse by the police was that they didn't care what actually happened. They just wanted to talk over me and assume my guilt, or assume that I was capable of doing things that I wasn't. I told the police in Natalie's case that I wasn't going to be able to Miss Peaches and work on it at her house. I was worried about where they were going to drop me off, because they said they were going to drop me off over at her house. She did take me in for that night, but you know what? After Natalie got killed, everybody got scared. People are threatening to kill people at that point. We didn't even know she was dead at that point. I was still having people that were threatening to kill me, and still having people getting a hold of me and saying, "Oh, I'm a psychic, and I know you know where that girl's at." And I'm like, fuck no, I don't. If I was stalking her, this shit never would have happened to her. As far as I knew, she was in Virginia. I was like, that's fucked up. I couldn't get anybody to do a goddamn thing about that with the protective paperwork or any of that at all. I just got sent from one jurisdiction to another. It cost a lot of money. All that traveling to be told that it's nobody's job. That you were told to go there for no reason. A victim should never have to go to their predators to turn in their predators. With Monica Bernal, I needed a room to sit in with my computer so that I could write down what it is that she was asking me. And I did explain that to her. I explained it to her over and over again. Without that, it doesn't make any difference. The police wouldn't allow me a room to do that in. Now, the other day, I did sit down in a room to get started on that, but they give me every indication of care, just like they did the last time that somebody was going to come in and talk with me, but the last time they didn't allow me a room to sit down and write anything in. They just talked over me, told me they didn't have a room. Same tactics, no matter where I go. They all get money for it, and it eats up all of mine. I don't have a safe place. What part of this are they not understanding? These youngins obviously feel very liberal about being mean to people. Oh my God, my back is killing me. Anyway, not trying to be rude. I'm recording anyway. When the officer left, Monica didn't allow me a room. She told me that she would, what was it? That she couldn't look at the evidence, and that I just needed a room to sit down and write that in. Just like the time before that and the time before that. Monica Bernal. I'm overwhelmed with all of the stuff that I have to go through. And there's a lot of people who let me know that people were threatening to kill them or their friends or family. And that's not okay. Anyway, Monica finally did get back a hold of me. I was supposed to have an appointment at like 3:30, 3:45, and I was thinking it was for the next day because I explained to her I gotta be able to sit down with the piece of paper in peace and quiet, and I gotta be able to get some of the information that I have off of the tablets and the other evidence that I brought with me. So a lot of the times and dates that I needed to look up, the names of the videos, the officers that I'd spoken with, I didn't get nothing with that. Didn't have a place to do it. Oh, all right. Obviously, I'm feeling pretty depressed today, and it's real painful to move. I've taken a couple of walks already this morning. My body is exhausted, and I gotta try to not have a nonstop panic attack all day. With the situation with Monica, I told her about the situation with both this guy and the dolphin, as well as Monica. Monica was the more immediate threat because she was here every day. That guy who was driving the dolphin ended up being, it turns out his name is James Murphy. And he gets to pretend that I stalked him, even though he followed me here. Waking up in the morning in multiple locations with him parked behind me is definitely creepy. Him stalking my channel is creepy. Him honking at my vehicle and driving by real fucking slow is creepy. And yes, I recorded. I wasn't happy with Monica after that. I wasn't really happy with her before that. But this is a service that's supposed to help people who are disabled, people who are abused, and they're primarily for domestic abuse. I've been sent to them a lot by a lot of different people, a lot of different organizations. And then I also get explained by a lot of different people that's not what they do. Well, depends on the situation. Bullhorn. It's a good one. It's homemade. No food. Now that was October of last year. September or October of last year. There was also the 14-year-old girl who was assaulted. I was making a video when the shit happened. Oh. And her stepdad, I gotta worry about him. I gotta worry about any of his friends or any slander he wants to spread. I got to worry about his wife and any possible gossip group she hangs out with in town. I did record the voices of a lot of other victims and a lot of their stories. I've been to churches that told me about the KKK problem too. That's pretty prolific. And I got it recorded. Donna telling me about that at the Seventh-day Adventist, saying it was last bastion of the KKK kind of stuff. And then we got the people over at Denny's here. From Mike McKinnister on through, you get to see their personality types, how they're all different. Mike McKinnister likes the police. Most of the rest of them don't. Julie hates it because of the KKK and racism here. And yeah, they'll be racist to the white guy too. A lot of black folks here are like, oh, well, nothing racist, just, I'm like, yeah, I deal with the N-word a lot. Oh, well, yeah, there's that. Like, really? Really? Them screaming that at you isn't racist. But it's, I guess at this point up here, it's kind of like, somebody's giving you shit, you give them shit. They make fun of you for being scrawny, you make fun of them for being fat. It's still body shaming. You're body shaming someone for being black. Body shaming somebody for being fat. Body shaming somebody for their penis size. Hell, when it's cold out, I only got 2 grapes. But you see, I can't communicate properly because I'm scared. I'm scared I'll get talked over. I'm scared they will not understand the gravity of the situation unless they look. Sending me in circles is not going to help. It's only going to help predators to get away. And there's a lot of them. Sending me to the library to make the calls I need to make and process the evidence I got to process, that's not tangible. It would be a good idea if I were younger and more physically able. Now, this James Murphy guy kept on stalking me, kept on following me. Parking lot to parking lot to parking lot, giving me issue after issue after issue. Honking, driving real slow, waving with that big old smile. Sometimes he'd park next to me and he'd start counting. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to deal with this guy. I'm gonna nod out trying to tell this story. The only thing keeping me awake is that I fucking hurt like a son of a bitch. Anyway, I tried telling Monica, hey, I need a safe place. Everybody gives me the standard ideas. Library, 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 library. Have you tried Tides of Change? I'm like, yeah. A lot of these services have eventually sending me to Tides of Change, and I go, you know what, I already been there. I did that my first month here. I had more than one stalker. All right. That Murphy feller stalking me here from Hood River, that was uncalled for. The way the cops treated me in Hood River, the fact that they lied to people about me intentionally, that's not all right either. Probably not the best time for me to make a video, especially now that my mouth is getting dry. I went to all the places that I was supposed to, and a lot of places did help me out monetarily. And no, it's not much compared to my expenses, but you know what? I was glad to have it. The problem is I didn't have someone who was listening to understand how vulnerable I am, how scared I am, and how I can't function.